This video is a bit different from usual because I'm not really making any specific points, and instead I'm introducing a way of examining certain games. But I need a quick video this week, and this topic has been on my mind for a while, so here we go. Hopefully it won't be too rambly. I played the Star Fox remake recently and ended up really enjoying myself. You blow up enemies in a cool spaceship, what's not to love? Of course, I also beat it within 2 hours, including getting the good ending on my first playthrough. The short length made me ponder how exactly a future Star Fox game could be lengthened without abandoning the spirit of the franchise. An idea I briefly considered, and saw online, would be to incorporate roguelike elements. At first glance, it seems like a reasonable suggestion, yet the more I thought about it, the more I disliked it. Mostly because I don't think that's the kind of replay value Star Fox focuses on. I think most games that focus on replayability can be grouped into one of two categories: scenes and systems. In scene games, level layouts and mechanics are static. Each time you play, enemies and objects are in the same place. You can develop a routine about how to beat each individual scene in order to obtain higher scores and better times. On the other end, system games feature a high amount of randomization. Room layouts and items you obtain are ever changing, meaning you can't expect the same situations each time. They reward the player for learning the mechanics and being able to create strategies on the fly. In theory, both types are similar, being games which are meant to be replayed. In practice, each type exercises different parts of the brain. Scenes are more about finding the optimal pathway, and then doing repetitions to get better. Systems are more analytical, testing your knowledge and encouraging creative combos. Personally, I tend to prefer scene games. I like the predictability, and it's easier to get better at them in a smaller span of time. Admittedly, I don't play roguelikes that often, so I won't try to speak definitively on that end of the scale. Speaking of which, it's kind of fun to create a scale of each type and fit games onto it. If you haven't been following thus far, hopefully this might give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tear apart this scale for being flawed. Most importantly, scenes and systems aren't really a binary option. Games are free to take mechanics and concepts from both sides. The most obvious example are roguelikes. Even if most rooms feature randomized enemies, oftentimes boss fights appear at predefined points. Boss fights are definitionally a scene, where learning the attack patterns will give you an edge over the boss, regardless of your build. Mussolina masterfully combines elements from both sides. You're rewarded with bonus points for certain goals, and the level layouts are also pretty static. The catch is you need to learn how to use your randomly selected items to progress. Immersive sims in general exist in sort of a superposition between both categories, which is what makes them so cool. Ultimately, I think differentiating between these two types of replayable games is still valuable for understanding what drives these kind of games, and what makes them replayable. If you want to make a scene game, you'll have to devote a lot of time to level design and make sure your core mechanics are rock solid, especially player movement. Including things such as timers and higher scores are easy ways to help encourage replays. Reducing RNG is also a solid idea. If you're making a system game, you need to focus more on developing mechanics which will allow for many combinations. Relying on RNG would be a good path forward. Understanding both halves of the scale can let you be more intentional when making these types of games, by letting you know where to follow conventions, or inform the signs when you're breaking from them. Some final notes. The biggest thing this video is ignoring is multiplayer. I think these usually exist on the system half, as the other players create a sort of randomness. Level layouts tend to be very static though. Another notable exception are story-focused games, which can encourage replays to see branching pathways. It's reasonable to put these into their own little bubble. The appeal of replaying them is completely different, relying more on the writing rather than the mechanics. I would also posit that they can only contain so much story, and eventually will run out, whereas other replayable games could be played forever just because of the gameplay. Lastly, technically, any game can be replayable if the player desires. I put God of War into the low replayability zone, but there are still people who speedrun it. Some people love to play Elden Ring over and over. I don't think the scale is a good lens to examine literally every video game with, and is most effective when considering games on each extreme. Although I gotta be honest, can someone please tell me about what would go right here on the scale? I have no idea what it would be, but something which demands you learn its systems but isn't super replayable sounds kinda sick. Okay, like and subscribe, goodbye.